Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm going to be talking about some books with disability and illness representation in them. So this is the 5th video I've done about these. There is a playlist, check it out if you want. But I thought it was a perfect time to do this video because this month there has been the Spoonies readathon going on, hosted by Kat over at Brews and Reviews and Emily from Novel Novels. I'll leave both of them down below. And that readathon is all about reading books with disability rep in them. So I thought, hey, why not do another one of these videos? I had a look at my playlist. It's been quite a while since I did my last one, so it's a long time coming. I have 5 books to go through, so let's just do that. The first 2 books I have here are middle grade books. So first of all, I have A Flash of Fireflies by Ayesha Bushby. This one, it kind of, you don't really get to know this until towards the end, but I think it's good to know just so you know to pick it up. But this book deals with OCD. It very much reads like a fantasy world that this main character is in, but then it's like, is it really happening? Is it in her head? Is it just a way to deal with stuff? So this follows Hazel, who recently moves to England to live with her, I believe it's either an auntie or a grandma or something. It's a relation to her anyway, I can't remember exactly. And her parents are not quite ready to move there yet, so she's just in this cottage with somebody that she knows a bit but not really a lot. And then all of these weird and wonderful things happening. It feels like a fairy tale. Each time she goes into this sort of world, different things happen. There are these fairies that make her count the fruit on the tree until they're ready and say that that's the right amount that she's meant to count. And there's also a new friendship in here. She's going to like the summer school because she's moved countries. She needs to sort of fit in a little bit. She's going to school in the summer before it starts and meets some people there. And yeah, it's a really good book. It's very like fantastical, like I said, but also deals with OCD. And yeah, give it a read. Next up we have The Amazing Eddie Eckhart by Rosie Jones. This is another middle grade series. There's actually 2 books and 1 small novella for World Book Day. This is written by Rosie Jones, who herself has cerebral palsy, and the main character, Eddie Eckhart, also has cerebral palsy. Also, the character is sort of coming to terms with perhaps her sexuality, and Rosie is lesbian. So it has more than sort of one representation in there. But yeah, this is just about Eddie Eckhart, just living life. She has cerebral palsy, she's a bit wobbly, but so what? She's doing a thing. It's just about her, friendships, school, family, all of that. It's very easy reading because it's middle grade. I would say it's more like easy to read younger middle grade than A Flash of Fireflies, but both of them obviously work for middle grade. And yeah, it's just a fun time. There's pictures in here as well as illustrations like this. It very much feels like that sort of Jacqueline Wilson 90s stuff that I and maybe many of you were brought up on, if you're from England anyway. But yeah, it's definitely got them vibes. But yeah, it's just a great time. One of the main sort of storylines in this one as well is her wanting to, not wanting to, but yes, wanting to be part of the play. And obviously cerebral palsy, she talks a bit slower than other people. So it's all about like gaining confidence and hopefully being able to do what you want to do and not let anything stand in your way. Moving on up to YA now, and the first book I have in this section is The First Move by Jenny Ireland. This is an Own Voices book about having arthritis as a young person, a teenager in this case of the story obviously, and Jenny herself I think was diagnosed quite young as a teenager. And yeah, it's really interesting because it's not something you hear about a lot. Arthritis is very much seen as like an older person's thing. But she is a teenager, she has arthritis, and it's a really nice story. It's about her and this new boy, and they're both sort of, I think, if I remember correctly, it's from both of their points, yeah. And she loves chess and plays online chess with this person, and then it's one of them like, he's the online dude, and then they meet in real life but they don't know that they're the same person. That sort of business. It's a romance, it's them getting together, potentially not. When will they find out that they're the same people that they're talking about online? One of them, but it's a fun time. And like I say, it's a lot about chess and just about experiencing the things that young people experience. So I can't remember what's the character, Juliet. So Juliet very much sees herself as an outsider. She doesn't really fit in. She's just doing her online thing, and then at school she's very much just in the background, so she doesn't feel like she can have this sort of relationship or these big romantic things going on. And this one is very much a sort of, not enemies to lover, but sort of annoyances to friends to lovers sort of thing. Ronan turns up, she thinks he's obnoxious and a bit of a dickhead, but then obviously more things ensue. There are also other things in play here, so Ronan's got stuff from his past that he's dealing with that you find out in here as well, so I enjoyed it. Hopefully you will too. We're about halfway through, so let's head on over to a message from one of the spons, and then I'll be back with the last 2 books. Yes, you can't really do halfway through with 5, can you? Hello, Rubes, so what are you doing on the shed? Next up, another one in the YA section, and that is 16 Souls by Rosie Talbot. This is a duology. The second one is called 12 Bones, and this is set in York, which I think's really fun, and it's about ghosts. So it's talking about all these different ghosts that you will hear. If you go to York, you will hear of all of these different characters, all of these different people from history, all of these different, like, real ghosts, if you will, are all talked about in here, which I very much enjoyed. And our main character Charlie had a near-death experience, and that is why he can see ghosts. And because of his near-death experience, which was meningitis, he is a double below-the-knee amputee. So throughout the book, throughout the duology, there'll be times when he's just mentioning that, and if he has to run away and stuff from scary ghosty things, sometimes that comes up, you know. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Hopefully you will too. The love interest is trans as well, so we've got that wrap in here. And yeah, if you've ever been to York and like heard about the ghosts there, I think you will have an extra enjoyment of this series, just because you'll be like, I've heard of this ghost, I've heard of this tale, and obviously the places as well. If you've been there, it's really good. In this first book, some of the most notable ghosts are disappearing. They don't know how, they don't know why, they don't know where they're going, what's happening to them. And Charlie and Sam, the love interest that I just mentioned earlier, are trying to figure out what is going on. And yes, lots of epic, crazy stuff ensues, and then carries on in the next book. So yeah, loads of ghostly goings on. And then last but not least, I have an adult book. It's also a non-fiction, and it's also maybe a little bit like what you wouldn't expect in this sort of video. So this is a book about the Belgica, which was a boat that tried to go to the Antarctica and got stuck in the ice for a long time, and because of that, scurvy ensued with several of the crew members. And the way scurvy is written about in here, first of all, I knew like what it was, but I didn't know all of the symptoms and how bad they are. And when you're reading, you're like, damn. Like, I didn't know the scurvy opened up old scars that could be like 20 years old, and you get scurvy and they open up again. That is some horrible shit. So yeah, this is a non-fiction, but the way it's written is really easy to get into and easily digestible. It's one of those non-fictions that's sort of written like a story, using all of the information they've got, but it's obviously about real things that happen, and it's just a really good book. And it talks about scurvy. And that's where the madness also happens, the madness at the end of the earth, because it very much affects the mind, the body, the everything. It's a bad time. So yes. I feel like it's a little bit of a random one to put in this video, but also not, because it still counts. It still is an illness that people get probably, sometimes, maybe, still. And yeah, it's a bad time. I feel like even if sort of polar travel isn't the thing that you love like me, you will still enjoy this book just because of the way it's written. I just think it's written really engagingly, if that is a real word, which I don't think it is. But yeah, give it a read because it's really, really good. So yeah, those are 5 books that feature different disability and illness rep in here. Hopefully You'll find something there that you'll enjoy. These ones are Own Voices. These ones, I'm not sure about Flash of Fireflies actually, but these two aren't. But yeah, they're all very good anyway. So yes, read them if you want. Let me know down below any recommendations that you have that I could read, that other people watching this and looking at the comments could read. I say down below. I don't know if your YouTube has done this, but my YouTube now, the video's here and the comments are next to it. It's so random, so it's not even down below anymore. There's no in the description down below. It's to the side for me. But maybe for you it's still down below. But anyway, do the things if you want. Like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, but only if you want. And yeah, I will leave the playlist with the other videos in here as well if you want to check them out. And yeah, I will see you in a few days with another video. Bye.